Good morning, boys and girls. This morning our story is called Everywhere a Baa Baa. So we are going to be learning about sheep. Before we get started, our vocabulary is fleece. That's the coat of wool on a sheep. Flock is a group of animals such as sheep or birds. Responsibilities are tasks or jobs that you are in charge of. A shepherd is a person who takes care of sheep, and stray means to wander away. Old MacDonald here. You may remember that I have some sheep on my farm. The sheep say, "Baa baa here and baa baa there." Ooh, this is exciting because here and there are our new tricky words for today. Up the road on my neighbor's farm, you can hear "baa baa" everywhere because she has a large flock of sheep. That's right, flock. Birds aren't the only animals that travel in flocks. Sheep do as well. By the way, you might have noticed something a little unusual about the word sheep. You can have one cow or a herd of cows. You can have one pig or a herd of pigs. You can have one chicken or a flock of chickens. However, you can have one sheep or a flock of sheep. Did you notice you do not need to add the S sound to the end of the word sheep? If you have more than one sheep, in other words, you would not say that my neighbor has a flock of sheeps. We say she has a flock of sheep. A female sheep is called a ewe, not to be confused with the word you as in the sentence you are in kindergarten. The word you as in you, not me, and the word ewe, a female sheep, sound the same but are spelled differently, and they may mean totally different things. A male sheep is called a ram. As with most other farm animals, farmers do not keep many males in the flock. My neighbor has one or two rams, and the rest of the flock is female. Baby sheep are called lambs. The ewe often has twin lambs. When lambs are young, they feed on their mother's milk. Sometimes the ewe may not have enough milk for two lambs, so the farmer may need to feed one of the lambs milk from a bottle. By now you've learned that the farmers raise animals for milk, eggs, and meat. Sheep are mammals like cows and pigs because they give birth to live young and they make milk to feed their babies. Some farmers raise sheep for milk, which they use to make cheese, and some people raise sheep for meat. Most farmers, however, raise sheep because of the wool that grows on their bodies. Wool is a very important material to people. Sheep's wool can be turned into yarn and woven into warm clothing or blankets. Can you find the person who is wearing a wool sweater in this picture? Let's see. That looks an awful lot like a wool sweater to me. Somebody did a really nice job knitting that. Sheep lead pretty simple lives. They spend most of their time out in the field grazing. The farmer lets them out to graze every morning and leads them back to the safety of the pen at night. Sheep generally stay with the flock where there is safety in numbers. Sheep do not have to worry about small animals like raccoons or skunks sneaking up and eating them. However, unlike cattle and pigs, sheep are not very large and they are certainly not fast. So sheep farmers have to protect their sheep from coyotes and wolves and other large predators. Every now and then a sheep does stray from the flock, usually in search of some tastier grass. Sheep are valuable farm animals. They are worth a lot of money, so the farmer cannot afford to let them wander off. My neighbor hires a shepherd to watch over her flock. The shepherd's job is to lead the sheep out to pasture and watch over them to make sure they do not wander off or get eaten by other animals. The shepherd's job does bring certain responsibilities. The shepherd must stay alert and be aware of predators. If a sheep starts to wander, the shepherd can catch the sheep with his crook, a long wooden stick with a hook on the end, to lead it back to the flock. Shepherds sometimes need help caring for large flocks. Dogs can be trained to help care for the sheep. Dogs who work with sheep are called sheepdogs. Sheepdogs run after sheep that try to wander away and chase them back to the flock. Sheepdogs are also important for chasing away predators. The sheep eat grass and grow thick coats of fuzzy wool all year round. After the sheep have had time to grow long, shaggy coats of wool, the farmer gets out her shearing clippers. Shearing clippers are like the electric razors a barber uses to cut hair. The farmer uses the shearing clippers to cut the wool off all the sheep in her flock. She does this in the springtime when warm weather is coming, and the sheep no longer need a thick coat of wool. By the time the winter comes around again, the sheep will have grown new wool to keep them warm during the cold weather. So they're not hurting the sheep there. It looks kind of like they are, but they're not hurting the sheep. They're just giving it a haircut. And they'll use all of this fleece right here and they'll turn it into yarn and we can make nice warm clothes out of that. The farmer knows how to cut off the wool in a way that does not hurt the animals. The wool that she cuts off is called the fleece. When the farmer shears a sheep, the main part of the fleece can come off in one big piece. Sometimes while she's shearing the sheep, the farmer sings an old nursery rhyme that you might remember. Ba ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. One for the master and one for the dame, and one for the little boy who lives down the lane. I'm sure you guys remember that one. That was one of our favorites. All right, so we have some comprehension questions today. The first one is, what is the main topic or main idea of today's lesson? The second one is, what do you see in this picture? Uh-oh, I'm going to have to find the picture. Let's see. Okay, there it is. What do you see in this picture? And what sound do they make? The next one is, how do sheep get the food that they need? Number 4 is, how do lambs get the food that they need? Number 5 is, what is a flock of sheep? Number 6 is, why do farmers raise sheep? And number 7 is, what is the sheep's fleece? And number 8, what are the responsibilities of a shepherd? All right, I hope you enjoyed learning about sheep today.